So that was interesting. I'm going to jump on to the next one, which is actually to do with solving problems and why it's a lot more difficult than people think. So anyone that works in a business context, you might recognize one of these called a Rubik's Cube. The aim of this is to have everything lined up so you have all the same colors on the same side. But one of the tricks is that you can't actually, there are lots of ways to solve the problem, and you have to go backwards and forwards and really look at, there's an algorithm, there's a way to kind of, there's an answer to it. But what's really interesting just in terms of the concept is to get to the goal you want or to solve the problem that you're dealing with. It's not always straightforward. So I had this for a client this week where basically they had a problem with, so you got sales, operations, you got people, and then clients. I purposely simplified that down, but basically in most businesses, these are some of the main kind of key drivers. Everyone wants to grow sales, and it's very easy to identify how we can do that. But then what's also interesting is that often the way to increase sales is actually to improve operations, which reduces the stress on people and keeps clients happy. And my point is that when with a client this week, we were looking at how we kind of solve a lot of these problems. There's some things that we were looking at with operations to how do we kind of, fix that problem that which we've got, because we had a client that was a little bit unhappy, which makes sense, and rightly so. Because of that problem and the client, we had people that were also unhappy because they're under the pressure to kind of deliver. But then likewise with sales, because sales are going really well, that was creating more problems. And what's the classic thing that any business that goes through a transition where you currently operate at a level, whatever that level is, if you basically double it and you start to win more work and you put more throughput through your business, it will create problems where you then have capacity issues, you have delivery issues, etc. But what's interesting is that that's a good sign, it's a good problem to have. The problem is when this is quiet and your sales are flat and you've got nothing coming in, you're thinking, oh shit, how do we keep the business running? How do we do stuff? But what was interesting, you also have the issue to do with people. That people are the main core of a business, that if you put people under too much pressure, which could be potentially unfair, is that actually caused by decisions? So most companies have a board and they make decisions. And I know this sounds silly, but anyway, but there are decisions that you can make which actually improve this, make people happier, keeps the clients happier, and will improve sales. And it's all about a conscious decision about for where a business is, if it's profitable is the key kind of bit. What can you do and where can you invest your resource to really improve these things? So actually we looked at an issue where we can actually improve operations, which makes our people happier, which makes our clients happier, and will definitely help improve sales. And we did it this week, but the point was, it was a complicated issue. You couldn't just tackle one thing in one way. And what it turned out to, I'm just going to grab a different colour pen, was through looking to tackle that area in operations that actually solved all the other issues. Which again is interesting, because if you ask most people about how do you grow sales in a company, they would say improve your marketing, get a bigger sales force, etc. Not always the case. And it was just something that in terms of business problem solving, it often helps to step back, look holistically at everything that's going on, really try and figure out where the core crux of the problems are and how you can actually use that to have a happier business, a healthier business, healthier people, make more money, happier clients, etc. And it might not be where you think it is. But if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to either email them in to questions@roadmapmba.com or drop it in the chat, or just send me, a direct message in LinkedIn. That's cool as well.